There's one person, he writes a letter, and he writes regarding his daily practices and his advice. So sometimes, some people, if you don't take advice from somebody who has a bit of experience in this field, you can get carried away and get overwhelmed. So he wrote, I can't remember the whole question that he wrote, but he's saying that I'm doing this and I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. He said, look, he wrote quite a harsh letter. He said, look, if you want to me to help you out, do the following. What's the following? Every day eat an apple. Yes, this is so he's asking for daily advice. He goes, you're doing too much. So every day, first of all, eat an apple. Yes. Then he goes and he said, every day have a massage on your head. Number 3, he goes, drink milk. This is advice. Number 4, sleep for 8 hours every day. No less than 8. And he says, like, he goes, read tahajjud straight after Isha and then go to sleep. No wake up for tahajjud. Yes? You following? So the point of this is, and he says then stay away from sins, etc. The point of this was this person is overdoing himself. So that's why it's always important to have somebody who's experienced in the field, who can see, are you overdoing yourself? So those people, see, like for example, Abu Hanifa rahmatullah performed salah the whole night, or fulan done this, is they got this slowly, and they build up the spiritual capacity. If you go too much, too fast, what can happen? You get burnt out. And when you get burnt out, is that, for example, if somebody, like for example, if somebody goes walking every day, yeah? So he walks every day and he starts running. If he does too much, he'll never exercise again. His nafs, it's like, nah, put off of it, never going again. If you have a bad experience somewhere, you don't do it again, innit? Like you went to one shop, and if you have a bad experience, I'm not going there again. It's just human nature. So like even your nature, if you have a bad experience about that, you just overburdened it so much in 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, like beyond normal, beyond your bardash, beyond your capacity, then what happened? You want to go back to it again. And it ends up being more harmful. So that's why it's slowly, bit by bit, you just improve and take advice where you're not sure. So don't overburden yourself. And a similar example is, it comes up later on as well, it's like, if you go through the fada'il of dhikr, fada'il of the Quran, there's so many, like in Mishkah, how many pages were there? Like 20, 30 pages? Or like 20 pages or 15 pages of this of adhkar. If you do every single one of those adhkar every single day, it takes about an hour. Some in the morning and evening. It's too much. That's why Shaykh Yunus rahmatullah alayhi Jahanpuri, who's a teacher in Sahranpur, Bukhari, he says that Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn Kathir, both of them mention that you never find the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam telling one person, do all of these. Like every single hadith that you find regarding the morning dhikr, the evening dhikr, the azkar and the virtues of salah is a different rawi most of the times. Or maybe some of them, 3 from Aisha radiallahu ta'ala, 4 from Abu Hurairah, and the rest of somebody else. Which means the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave everybody different azkar. Which means that these are for tanawwa, not for isti'ab. What does tanawwa mean? Like, yeah, you can take different ones. Not that read every single one. It's not say, oh, Prophet said, these are the 8 du'as you must read, these are the 25 du'as you must read. So if you find 30 du'as in a book, if you try to read all 30 from day one, you're not going to manage more than 2 days. It's too much. So you just start from one, or start for something, and then slowly, and then as a time, there's a limit where you can get. And the asal maqsad is that you create the capacity to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not just like Hazrat Hanumullah said, don't become majmu'atul wadha'if. Like the whole day just basically reading wazifa, reading. It's basically you do enough that you remember, you get rewarded hereafter. You have enough spiritual strength that you can combat shaitan and nafs. And that you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so much that whenever the thought of disobedience comes, you say, no, I'm not going to do this. And you're strong enough spiritually to refrain from that. And everybody have a different mi'yar that you can go to. And if you see, or you read from the earlier scholars, and even he's mentioned that don't even try to compare yourself to the earlier Sufis and the earlier Salihun. They were different. And if you do see that, it's because they got there slowly, bit by bit. Nobody's born, and the next year the baby is born doing like 4 hours of dhikr. And even no teenager is born doing 4 hours of dhikr. But if somebody's doing that in their old age, it's because they started from 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and slowly they build up. So that's the lesson of today's lesson. That's the summary of this lesson. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.